Alright, so right here, Gettysburg National Cemetery, you got Parthenon reference. Parthenon being a reference to science. Alright, and at the other end, well, not that end, down there where we're going, is philosophy. But philosophy is not at all mentioned. Now, I mean mentioned at all on the statue. Alright? I'll explain it whenever we get down there. But on the other side of this fence, as you can plainly see, is a cemetery. Evergreen Cemetery. And I'm planning on easing over there later on to, well, point out a few things and just keep everything up to date, you know. I've already mentioned about the cannons being the circle and then the focus, the cross, the shield, huh? Alright. So I'm saying all this stuff has an occult reference to it. All of it. And especially with the cemetery right on the other side with all kinds of references to alchemy. It's the one topic that everything is related to. Everything. And that's impossible to be coincidence. It's impossible. So, well, I keep reading them until I get the revelation that I need. Over here, you got the ball and the cross. Right there's your alchemical secret. You got your as above, so below. You got your as within, so without. You got your qualities, you got your elements, and you got the secret right there. It's just a bit interesting. Just a bit. And there is ridiculous over here in the cemetery how many flasks you see, how many obelisks, and how many other infinite references over here. Is ridiculous. And on the fence, you also got the growing, the greening and growing. You got the as above, so below going on. It's wild. So over there, straight ahead, is where we're heading to. Now, what is a fence that's referencing growth? What is it growing? It's growing separation. Alright, now separation from death, you could say. That's one interpretation. But there's a few others. Separating you from other things. Like from true knowledge. Alright, now up here on this statue that we're coming to, this is just wild. You know, I got to explain this one time to a group of people that were out here. It's rather awesome. I love being, you know, used. Alright. So, what's all down here below on the bottom You got 4 angles. Those 4 angles, well, the 4 angles would represent the 4 elements. That's not what the statue is talking about, though. Down below, they don't tell you a thing. Up top, though, there she stands, philosophy herself. So you got philosophy on one side, you got the Parthenon on the other side, both referencing a science. Now, there you got the gear. That gear right there is the cross in the circle. There's your furnace. You got the anchor, the water reference. He's got a staff. There's a fire reference, a reference in the tarot, so on and so forth. All right. So you can't. Well, here, philosophy up top here is just hanging out, doing her thing. Now, over here on the education one, you'll plainly see what's referencing education is a reference to Egypt. Now, absolutely nothing to do with that war, the War of Gettysburg. So you tell me, what does Egypt have anything to do with that statue? Why? Because it's not referencing the war. The stuff on the bottom here is referencing what's up top. Now, further on down here, I can guarantee you will clearly see philosophy herself. Because there she stands, just as Boethius described her. Just as Boethius described her. Handing out a garland, handing out a new mindset, a new perspective. And what is she handing out over? The dead. It's the mindset of death. It's the idea of death. Now, some could take this as the death of, past soldiers and so on, and the idea of it and so on, but that's not very applicable to her up to. Philosophy herself is never mentioned on that statue. Down below there is absolutely no reference to philosophy. But there she stands, just as Boethius described her, with an alchemist hat on the staff and the garland she's handing out. The new mindset. What mindset? The mindset of death. She's handing out the mindset of death. That would be the only reason for her to be in the cemetery. Now, what do I mean by the mindset of death? Well, by the mindset of death, obviously, right next door, that idea brings about that manifestation. And right there is your 4 elements to tell you how to do it, how it gets done, how the idea goes from idea to manifestation. And it's been right in our faces all this time. It's plain as day, magic. It's magic. And look at that, mirror references. Mirrors in concrete. There's never been any plaques there. I've been here my whole life. It's all about magic.